Podcast for the curious mind. I don't know what that means.
Broadcasting live from a Chinese-made microphone high atop Sioux Nation. Man, I went back to the bunker days there.
Yeah. You've upgraded.
High atop Sioux Nation. I am Hussing here with May Massacre on a special late night news special from Phantom Facts. We don't ever barely talk about the news. We've been going down your favorite subjects, May. Child pedophile ring.
Oh, stop it!
And, I tell everyone about your statement that last episode where you're like, can we please?
Can we stop it? Can we please talk about something else that's as dark but not child pedophilia?
Once you start going down that hole, and I knew that was going to happen. The problem is I didn't know it was going to happen with Columbine, but that's, we've talked about it at length. I thought there's a bunch of crazy stuff going on in the news, May, that has been talked about by Fox and CNN and MSNBC nonstop. And I think sometimes the reaction is to just step away from politics and listening to it because it's just, they're morons.
Yeah.
And if you sit there and you worry about it all day long, you're literally worrying about what morons are doing.
Yeah. Well, and it's you either get hard left, hard right, nothing really in the middle. It's let's shit on who, let's shit on that. And it gets to a point where you're right, where you're just like, okay, I've had enough. Where's SpongeBob or Bluey that I can watch to just erase it from my mind?
Well, it makes you wonder about our kids.
Mm-hmm.
How focused are they going to be on these type of things? Or are we the last generation that's really ever really going to care or think that we have a say in politics? Because I talked to the cell phone generation, and a lot of those guys that I talk to, and I could be completely wrong. It's either guys are completely like, well, it is what it is. I'm just going to do my thing. And or you're a activist. It's like one or the two. It's either the kid is non-binary, LGBTQ plus 953, or the kid does not care whatsoever.
Yep.
Which is
in a sense too, like you think, like I felt for a long time their grand plan was they want everyone to focus on raising families, buying houses, getting away from dialing in so they could sneak in their back shit and pass laws and bills and pretty much do whatever because they wanted you to focus on staying afloat and staying alive. Now, I think everyone has kind of realized that it's a struggle fuck either way. So you might as well dial in and see what the hell's going on. And if you can, or if you want to, get on that activist train or get with somebody that has a cause and try to make yourself heard. So, you let them know that you're tired of it. But then we all have those friends and people that it is what it is at this point. Like you might as well just buckle down and take care of you and do you. And if shit hits the fan, I guess it's going to hit the fan.
It is true. Like, I think both opinions are valid, but I just feel like the moderate, normal person with common sense, that type of thinking, like I didn't think balancing a budget was not common sense. I didn't think inflating the dollar this much was that, common sense. It's just things like that have happened. I don't know. It feels like there's an acceleration. Now, is that just because we've never experienced this before? Like,
yes.
is there examples of that in the history, where you've had these cyclical changes? Probably. Probably. I know right now all the church freaks are thinking the end of the world is coming because of the war in Israel.
Mm-hmm.
So they're all agitated. That whole little division of people are just up. Half of them want the rapture to come and then the rest to be destroyed and God's wrath. And I mean, I've just seen
And
this.
half of them are such hypocrites too. If the rapture was to come, they're fucked like the rest of us. Yeah, it's you go to church for your social badge and that's it. Like you're still jerking off in the bathroom or texting an old girlfriend or something. Like
What was that one? The threesome that was going on between the moms of God or something like that. It's just that stuff's just going to happen in every organization, but it just makes it so much juicier when it comes from someone who claims to be morally upright. Like it's easy cannon fodder that is going to happen. You just got to sit around. It's like the New Life Church in Colorado Springs. You remember when that whole debacle went down?
No.
That huge church in Colorado Springs, it looks like it seats 10,000
Oh
people.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's got like a bunch of flags all around the front of it. Well, the pastor that HBO just did a series about this. The pastor that started that church was doing meth and getting fucked in the ass by guys for like years. And then he built his church, and the guy that he's been fucking and buying meth from is like, "Hey,
Yeah,
you're
where's
a
mine?
preacher?"
I was
And so,
flipping on the channels, and I saw you come across the TV.
and this guy lies every step of the way. Every time he thinks he can get away with just a little less, he's like, the first lie was like, "Well, I don't know who this guy is at all," and then it was like, "Okay, in a moment of weakness, I wanted meth, but I threw it out as soon as I got it." And then it turns out like, "Oh no, I've been doing meth for 7 years and blowing this guy, and he's been blowing me." It's like, and then he turns around and is like, "I've owned it now, so I'm going to start a new church in Colorado Springs." I tell you now, I mean,
That's
stuff.
wild. That's fucking wild.
The HBO documentary. You got to watch it, dude. It's
Yeah, I
fucking
will.
great.
That's great. I did
And
not
it
know
was
that
back.
was out there.
This was, I'd say, like back early 2000s, and the last gasp of real, religious a type of piety that was going on the TV networks and stuff. The focus on the family and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Not to say there's not big church movements now, but it was like this was like the television version of it still. Taking everyone in and all that stuff. It had some good messages, but it's just, they roast and this poor guy's wife, she's just, by his side the whole time and she can't leave him. And, they're like reporters coming up to him in the vehicle and he's like, "No, I just blew him once, but I didn't smoke the meth." And she's just sitting there like,
I love my husband.
yeah, it's horrible. It's absolutely horrible.
I blew him once, 1,000 times. That's all it was. I promise.
I got some
That
very,
is
yeah,
crazy.
yeah, it's great. It's
I'm
just
waiting
fun.
for Joel Osteen to get on there and be like,
Oh,
I sniff cocaine off a crack hooker's ass in my big private jet.
that guy with that huge nose.
Yeah.
He's probably, yeah. Speaking of jets and private jets, Epstein, did you hear about that? The list of it's not it's associates, not clients.
Yeah.
It's a very big distinction. So we're getting a list of 150 plus names they deem we can see that aren't classified.
Yeah.
Which,
And there's some that are redacted, right? That I'm
yes,
hearing.
yes.
And there's 2 presidents on it, I think is what they said. That'll be interesting to see. I mean, I think they just talked about it. It'd be really interesting to see when it comes out and what it looks like and what that'll do, because that's all over my Twitter timeline or X timeline is the list and how people got their hands on it and this and that. So it'll
they've got
be
January 1st to appeal it. So then
Yeah.
it could get delayed even longer, right?
Yeah.
If the appeal goes through. So who wants to believe that someone is not going to appeal it? Bill Gates is not going to appeal it.
Yeah. It's gonna
And
be
it's still not. Why don't we get the names to the people that were raping the kids? We don't get those names.
Exactly. Yeah.
Now, what happens? Now, I get this weird feeling, May. What
They're also
happens?
selling the island, aren't they? To turn it into a hotel resort or resorts. I thought it
No,
got yeah, I thought it's for sale or some company just bought it
no.
to put hotel resorts on it.
They're going to make a movie about that company in 50 years about this one great salesman that figured out a way how to turn Pedophile Island into a great resort.
Mhm.
No way. How could you? I guess. I mean, the land's got to be cheap.
It's got to be, but I mean, it's just like I don't know if it ever sold, but you remember the Chris Watts guy that killed his family in Colorado?
Yep. Yep.
Um, like their house didn't sell forever, and I don't know if it finally sold or if it's still sitting vacant. But like you know, if that house can move, it'd be interesting. I don't know. I mean, that whole island, just to you buy it right, just to get in there and see and just wander around. I don't know. It'd
Did you
be
ever watch the interrogation of Chris Watts?
no.
Yeah, I watched the whole like 12-hour interrogation of him. I don't think it was that long actually, but it was long. And I mean, this guy, you know how weird it is to hear a guy describe how he lowered his dead daughter into an oil well? You
That's
know, like
yeah.
and like the detective comes in, he's like, "Listen, man, we got guys in there with grinders and stuff, get ready to cut this thing open at risk of their own life. Are you sure you put them down here? Because that hole is small." And
Yeah.
then to watch him be like, "Oh no, no, I just folded up their arms and took." Oh, just it's horrible.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, because I think too they just did the top autopsies on the girls after removing them from the oil barrels. I think just recently. I mean,
And the
not too
fact
long
that
ago.
there's women that are writing him, you know what I mean? And like women that are writing and flirting with him and want to have a relationship with him
And I
and
think he's gay for the stay in prison. I want to say like he's got a boo. Yeah.
really
Yeah. My coworker, he follows that Chris Watts thing, him and his wife. And yeah, they were telling me the other day that because
he's
I guess he
gay,
had a girlfriend
right?
and then there was talks of him actually having like a male lover. And then now that he's in prison, he's definitely got like a male lover that went public saying, that's my honeydew.
What a happy ending.
Yeah,
Really talk about prison justice, but that doesn't sound like prison justice at all.
nope.
Okay, a couple stories I want to go through. This is shared from Tara Bull on Twitter. Top 10 headlines the media didn't tell you this week. Give her a follow. Number 10. Governor Greg Abbott signs a bill making it a state crime to enter Texas illegally.
Yep. Yes. I saw Stephen A. Smith thought it was bullshit and was
Really?
complaining and was like,
Really?
how do you justify if somebody's in here illegally or not? And I'm like, if they don't have papers, they're illegal. Like, yeah, but he was like, this is supposed to be the land of the free. You know, everyone has a chance to come in here. Motherfucker, if you're not verified and you come in here with no papers and you didn't go through the process, like
How does that
I,
get on ESPN?
I don't know if it went on ESPN. I think he's got his own little side
Oh,
thing.
I got you.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
God dang it.
He was talking on his ass because I listened to the Drinking Bros podcast and they were talking about it and they were just like this fucking clown. Like he needs to stick to basketball and the New York Jets. Like he doesn't need to be talking about something he has no idea. Because he went into like there's I guess a handful of nonprofit companies that like will pay for all these people. Um, and then they'll put them on like first class flights, fly them all over the United States, give them an envelope with a
Yep.
bunch of keywords on the back of it to get them by. And then they have just this ton of money in this envelope. And I guess something I didn't know, but I kind of figured was the amount of missing children that get separated and don't ever like nobody knows where they're at. Like they came in with a family and then they separated them and now There's an absurd amount of missing illegal immigrant
Yes.
children. Yeah, it's pretty wild.
Well, and I mean, I got to show you
Good
this.
on them. I get. I mean, I I don't. Texas is going to do what Texas wants, and that's they're right there. They fight the biggest fight of most of the states that have to deal with that. So, I mean, I'm sorry if you don't want to play the game correctly. It is what it is.
Here is here. I got to share this. This popped up on my feed here. Just like here. I don't know if, give me one quick second. This is at Eagle Pass, Texas. I don't know if you've seen this. You know where Eagle Pass is? This is where thousands of migrants have been just, traveling through this one specific spot in Texas. And this is at the golf course 3 days ago. This is absolutely crazy, man. These guys are golfing. The golf course there is right on the border, right?
Ooh.
It's literally right on the border. So here, these guys are.
Oh shit! Oh wow! No way!
Oh,
Oh, shit. That's actually pretty great, but still.
That's the funniest thing I've seen all day. Yeah, so that's how bad it is at the border.
I'd have loved if he would have shanked that and they would have been like, ooh.
Yes, right. Yeah. Bro, they saying 8 million to 10 million people. That's what Alex is saying. 8 million to 10 million people. Have you listened to Alex at all since he's gotten back?
No, I need to.
Yeah, it's time to start listening again to that stuff because it's a whole new agenda now. But 8 to 10 million people. And you know what drives me nuts is that I'm in South Dakota. I don't know what the politics are in Kentucky or Tennessee or wherever you're at. But here in South Dakota, it is hard Republican. Kristi Noem is worshipped as a goddess.
Yep.
And so I've never heard anything bad said about Kristi Noem on any, political talk show anywhere in South Dakota politics. And so it's just, they sit there and they talk about this migrant issue. And we're having attempted kidnappings in small towns in South Dakota. Every gas station along the interstate has human trafficking posters up with numbers that people can call. Like it's a huge issue in the Midwest when it comes to, yes, huge issue in the Midwest when it comes. There was a small town north of here. Lady forgot her phone on the beach. I mean, you're talking maybe a population of 2,000 people, and a van pulls up. 4 guys come out and try to wrestle her into the van. In the middle of, you know what I mean? Like, honestly, when you think you're free from having to deal with this stuff, it's happening right here.
In the middle of the day, too?
No, it was at nighttime. It was at nighttime. She had realized she had lost her phone. It was South Dakota, dude.
Yeah,
you
that is
have
true.
To worry
South Dakota.
about strange vans with migrant workers where, you're an hour off the interstate.
I didn't hear, that's the stuff to worry about because you don't hear of the migration dumps in the Midwest because normally it's always, let's send them to Chicago, New Jersey, New York, like South Carolina, North Carolina, like a place like that, not damn South Dakota or Iowa or Nebraska. Like, Colorado probably takes a shit ton of them.
You go to those rich towns in Aspen or Vail or anywhere along that interstate there, and every gas station and fast food restaurant is ran by illegal immigrants. The whole store is ran by it. And that's what I mean. Like, so this is a great talking point, right? So you'll hear some of my Republican buddies talk about, we got to stop the crisis at the border, and Or then you'll hear some of the Democrat people be like, "Oh no, we gotta let him in." Um, the problem is like I feel it's both disingenuous because the people who are the hard-nosed Republicans here in South Dakota, all of them use illegal immigrant labor
Yeah.
to take care of their crops and to feed their cows and to make sure everything's well maintained, and they pay them like shit, and they make sure they all 20 of them can only live in one house.
Yep.
So it's the biggest BS ever, right? Oh, sure, we don't want 10 million coming across and taking our jobs, but
But I'll take 200 for
but
my
I'll take
farm.
yes, yes, yes. And then you've got the
Small
liberals.
amounts.
You got the liberals on the other hand, and they're like, no, everyone deserves to be equal human. Meanwhile, these people can never live like human because they have to. They're getting paid ridiculous amounts of rates so that they all have. I mean, I saw a trailer park. It was an hour and a half outside of Vail, Colorado, Leadville. There's a huge
Oh
trailer
yeah.
park outside of Leadville. I mean, and it's just full of illegal immigrant workers who live at a at an elevation of 10,000 some feet, like 10,400 feet in trailers in the middle of the mountains because that's all they can afford, And so, like, you pretend you're giving these people a chance at the American dream. Yeah, no, you're not. No, you're
Yeah.
not. You want slave labor. You need someone to literally do something dirt cheap because no one else will do it
Yeah.
for that price. So this whole Texas banning illegal immigrants, Texas is using 10 million people is a ridiculous amount, but this is all showboating. This is just something to pass the time, in my opinion. I don't know. I mean, because you're hearing about it, you don't even pay attention to the news, May,
Yeah.
and you're hearing about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
good. It's not good. So that's all I'm saying. I didn't think I was
There's
going to
got to be a
rant.
fine. There's got to be a fine balance. I mean, but I don't think there will. Like, I've heard a lot of it. Like, they're putting these immigrants in places so they can build up the population, so they can get like another. Um, what do you call it? Like, not like another seat. Is that right? Like, if your population grows
Oh
a
yeah,
certain
yeah,
amount, you get another like delegate or whatever the
yep.
fuck. Like,
Electoral
yeah.
vote. Yes.
So that's what I've been hearing lately is that's what they're focusing on is sitting in places like that so that like the liberal states and stuff can help pump up those numbers.
Well, and it's how is it not backfiring? Like everyone's pissed at Mayor Adams in New York
Hmm.
because it's out of control. Everyone's pissed at the mayor in Chicago because it's out of control. And
Yeah.
these people, they've been telling the black people in their districts for decades that they would make their lives better.
Hmm.
Reparations and all of these things, like you get me into office and I will take care of you. For decades they've done this.
Yep.
Now you have a million illegal immigrants come into your city and you literally bend over backwards for them.
Yeah.
You put them in motels, you give them
Good
free food.
motels.
Yeah, good
Like
motels.
like top of the line
Free
hotels.
food, access to business opportunities, everything you've been promising your black constituents for the last 50 years.
Yeah. Did you hear that Mayor Adams? I'll find the clip and send it to you if I can. But he came out and said in an interview, they were like, what makes, New York City the best city in the world? He's like, well, where do I start? He's like, you can start a business or you can watch planes run into towers. He's like, you have such a
No,
yes, he
no,
said that. He
that
said
had that had to have been
he said that. He said it's such a wide spectrum of what this city brings. He's like, you don't know. You could one day you could start a business and be successful, or the next you could look up and see airplanes crashing into buildings.
You're kidding me right now. I'm pulling up this tab right here. This is from the Guardian. Can you see that?
Yes, I can.
Okay, this is a quote. He says, "This is a place where every day you wake up, you could experience everything from a plane crashing into our trade center through a person who's celebrating a new business that's about to open. This is a very, very complicated city, and that's why it's the greatest city on the globe." No, no, I'm pulling this clip up here. This is him defending it. Brothers.
Tonight, Mayor Adams is defending his reference to the 9/11 attacks when describing the city. In a recent interview, the mayor said the city is very complicated, where you could experience everything from a plane crashing into our World Trade
You're
Center
kidding me.
to a person who's celebrating a new business, adding that it's the greatest city on the globe.
Using the analogy of the complexity of what could happen in the city, from planes landing on our Hudson River to all the other
maybe
things.
that's
That
the
was my
one you
comment.
should have led with.
Those who take my comments in good faith are not going to try to turn them around. People knew what I was saying. The city is complex.
That woman in the background nodded her head. Yeah, Mayor Adams.
The mayor says his comments were meant to reflect the resilience of the city and how it pulled together to rise up after the terror attacks.
Come to New York.
Yeah.
Where you can open a business or watch planes crash into our trade tower.
Yeah, like I told you, and you're right. If he would have opened with the
Hudson.
the Hudson, like that was, that was the thing. But to go with the Trade Center bit,
Dude, I sometimes feel like these guys feel they're invincible. They think they're invincible. Like it's he said that thing about the migrants where he wanted Biden to stop, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then instead of punishing him, they flew him out to South America, made him a bunch of sweet deals for which he's getting investigated now about. And he's just letting it's open city right now. And they probably said, listen, if you mitigate this crisis and take in all of these people we're sending to you, we'll make sure you never not get elected again. And sometimes I feel like when a person feels that confident, he can go out and say something like that.
I can't wait for that to be on T-shirts. So that's someone's new business that's opened.
I came here to see planes crash into towers, and all I got was this lousy T-shirt. All right.
If we ever open up an apparel shop for Phantom Facts,
this is a great idea. Yeah, we should. Okay, number 9. Fulton County counted 20,713 votes that did not exist in the 2020 election. Trump lost by 11,779 votes. That's where Trump got his little photo taken in the sheriff's. It's Fulton County.
Yeah.
I think
you
we
saw
watched
they sold all that like merch to go through for his fundraising too, which I tried buying one of those T-shirts because I thought it was hilarious, but they sold out like fucking hotcakes.
Oh, this has turned into a great funding effort for Trump. Every time some state comes out with a law, or they arrest Trump, he makes millions and millions of dollars off of it.
Mm-hmm.
And he's never going to stop running for this. You know what I mean? Like I saw Nikki Haley, they're saying she's only like 3 points behind Trump in her home state.
She doesn't stand a chance.
She doesn't stand a chance. Now, will Biden debate Trump?
No, there's no way. There's no way.
So we're going to experience the first presidential campaign without a debate.
Yeah, and they'll I wouldn't be surprised if that sets the tone going forward. I don't know. It all depends on what shakes out. But like if this becomes the norm, it'll be interesting.
Now Roger Stone. I don't know if you know who Roger Stone is. He
No.
was a the Steele dossier that they've paid some British guy to write up a fake story about Trump going to Russia and them having videotape of him getting beat on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was completely fake. Hired by you'll always hear people say the Clintons hired him to write that dossier. That's not true. He was initially contracted by the Jeb Bush campaign to come up with the dossier. And when Jeb Bush had to step out, he sold it to Hillary Clinton.
Of course
And
he
they
did.
proceeded to run with that story. So this is, give an idea of what the actual story behind it. But that's pretty much what Roger Stone used to do for the Reagan administration and the Bush administration senior. And supposedly, he had a crisis of conscience and he's come to the truth side and all that stuff, whatever. But what's interesting is he is convinced that Michelle Obama is going to step in around March and they're going to push Biden out and it'll be Michelle Obama. Now, I can't see her running for president.
How does that work, though? How does she skip over like 3 other people?
So no one wants Kamala.
Yeah.
No one wants Kamala because it's poison. So that's one person you're skipping over, right? And then Biden is not being protected by the media anymore. You know what I mean? Like they're allowing his flubs in full scale. They're showing parts of the laptop that were true. They're admitting to corruption and all these other stuffs in slow process. It's almost like, hey man, do we have to keep doing this, or are you just going to gracefully bow out so we don't have to get our hands dirty and we can pick our own candidate? Now, what I could see happening is Gavin Newsom getting the nod and Michelle getting the nod for VP. That's a dangerous ticket because nobody knows enough about Gavin Newsom, and all the suburban votes would go to. I would just imagine they would go to Michelle, and you wouldn't lose your female black vote that way either. So I don't. Black males tended towards Trump.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you, this is Roger Stone's theory of and he is dead set on this. I listened to him on the Christmas special with Jones, and he's convinced that it's going to be Michelle Obama. It seems hard to believe.
It's just crazy to imagine a ticket with Gavin and Michael just cruising the United States,
Well, whatever this is going to be, May, it's going to be done under closed doors, and it's going to be shoved onto the DNC, and they're just going to have to take it. And I just can't. Now, here's the thing: if they cheated the last election, then why change anything?
Yeah, true.
Just keep Biden in there. Like, if you can control the outcome of the election, why are you even trying to?
I don't know.
Am I wrong?
No, you're
thinking that way. Okay. I just all right. Let's see here. Next one on the terrible X list. Oh yeah, Senate staffer fired after filming gay sex tape in Senate hearing room. Apparently, we're not the only ones getting fucked by the government. Is her statement? Now, did you hear this guy feels like this is an assault on him?
It's what?
Like it's an assault. The guy that got caught feels like it's an assault on him.
Of course,
he's just doing something natural, and it had nothing to do with where he was doing it at. That shouldn't matter. It's the people's house.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. To get ass plugged in the people's house and videotape it and everything. Yeah. All 132 pounds of that little.
Listen, you think you're having a bad day at work? Imagine being that senator that's your aide, and you're coming into office. Everyone's sort of looking at you funny. You don't know what's up.
Yeah.
You open up your office door. There it is. A guy getting nailed in his ass right on your fucking main conference room TV.
Yeah.
You're like, Sharon, what the fuck is this? Is that Jeff?
Is that fucking Jeff? I told him keep that shit
Well,
at
at least
home.
it wasn't at work, huh, boys? It's like, nope, it definitely was.
Yeah.
Uh, what are we doing? What are we doing? Like, you know what? I think back to all the times where I listened to the Glenn Becks and the Sean Hannitys when they were fighting gay marriage, and they said it would come to this. Gays just fucking everywhere, and god damn it, they were right.
Oh, Glenn Beck. Yeah. He had his finger right on it. Not in the butthole, but he had his finger right on it.
Listen, if we're gonna have to watch gay guys fuck in the Senate room hearing floor, we should be able to watch some decent heterosexual porn on there too.
Yeah.
It's just it's too one-sided now. It's
I want AOC to come out and be like, okay, my turn. Everybody wants to see those heavies.
Hey, you watch
She's
out
dumb as
for
a box of rocks.
the
But
socialist titties are nothing to be laughing about. Okay, they'll suck you right in, and before you know it, you'll be like, Karl Marx does make a lot of sense.
yes.
Look what happened with Yoko Ono. All right.
Oh, shit.
It's dismantling of a Confederate memorial in Arlington Cemetery was halted by Trump-appointed federal judge. So I do not care about this. I don't know about you.
No, I didn't even hear about it.
Yeah, and this is the whole process of rewriting history. Happens with everyone. Names are forgotten, and that war is just too old. That anyone that fought on that side that's got family there, it doesn't matter. You don't matter. So it's not surprising, I guess is what I'm saying. Vivek Ramaswamy to withdraw from the Colorado GOP primary until Trump is allowed to be on the ballot. What do you think about what's going on in Colorado, May? I know you don't pay much attention.
What a shit show. Like, it's, you talk to the little people that I know left over there, they're like, it's mind blowing. They were saying that they wouldn't be surprised if like the Republican part of like Colorado would try to like, what is that? Like succeed.
Yes, yeah.
But I mean, I don't think that'll ever happen. But it's just like, they were saying you can't go to Denver without just just how nasty and stuff it is, and then now with the whole Trump thing, them pulling him off the ballot, that's what they asked for in a sense. I mean, it's. Well, I'm glad we left, but
both of us, we were both in Colorado.
Yeah. So
I mean, and it's something that's not. No one was surprised if you lived in Colorado. Was surprised to hear that they pulled that off.
mm-hmm.
A 3-4 was the final count for people in favor of removing Trump from the ballot versus 3 dissenting judges, which their dissent was just, there's no way this is constitutional type of dissent. But Colorado,
the bigger play that comes from that is going to be interesting too, because now what stops other states from doing it? And then what happens if the Supreme Court rules in favor of Colorado and then they rule in favor of, say, Michigan or, what's another swing state of,
well, so now,
power.
Now what's interesting about the Colorado decision is this went to Minnesota first and it was denied.
Oh, that's right. Yep.
And then Colorado did agree to take Trump off the ballot, and then Michigan just came out today and denied it and said that they have no right to take Trump off the ballot. So I feel like this is almost backfired. Like it's so outrageous that other states Supreme Courts are afraid to put themselves in the same boat as the Colorado judges. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like it almost seems like there's a little pressure not to do what Colorado did because they're going to, there's no way the Supreme Court's going to rule in favor of Colorado's decision. I can't imagine. It's
and then what protests happen, you think, in Colorado over the whole thing or what?
This is the problem with the Colorado Republican Party is it is so in shambles and has remained in shambles for years now. with no clear direction. There is a lot of Rhino Republicans that are attached to Lockheed Martin and other military industrial complexes that are making big money in Colorado. Boeing is one of those too. So um, I don't think you're ever going to see any coordinated action ever again from Colorado. I think Colorado is lost. I think I don't think they, barring something just crazy, and even the person that that's a problem. Every one of those Republicans running, except for Vivek, are a main part or friends with the military industrial complex. Ron DeSantis, big fan of military. Nikki Haley made her millions off of the military. We just bombed Iraq yesterday.
Really?
Yeah, we just bombed. Yeah, we just bombed Iraq yesterday. So there's and this Russia ship that got hit. I don't know if you saw the videos of that. Russia ship was unloading soldiers off of the sea there into Ukraine, and it got hit by a missile, just blew the whole thing up, just big boom. I'll see if I can't find that. But they're saying that no way it could have come from a ground missile. It had to have been fired from the air, it was just a week. It's been just a week since they got their F-16s. So, I mean, and man, here's the thing, May. You think Russia's going to take that sitting down?
No.
And does Ukraine have anything to protect itself after it does something like that? No, they're just going to go and poke the bear.
They're going to ask for our help and hide and cower behind that. Yeah. That's all. I think all it was how do we get more aid and more help from Big Poppy USA? Let's go fuck with this, Russia ship here. I don't know. I mean, that could be way off, but it seems like anything that they can do to even get their hand slapped, they're like, oh, well, USA will help us. They've been helping us this whole fucking time. So,
I mean, it's gotten absolutely crazy. I mean, these guys they don't have anything. You know what I mean? Like they shouldn't have started this poking the bear stuff to begin with. It'd be like us just poking Canada nonstop. I mean, you gotta. I don't know. It's absolutely not good. And we're one more war away from a world war, May.
Oh yeah.
We're one more conflict. We got Israel Gaza going on, which is a complete. I mean, it's a complete renovation. Like they're already selling property on destroyed Gaza area for beachfront views, literally with overlays of nice houses over bombed out sections of Gaza. Like, hey, once we clear this out, so it's yeah, that stuff's let's see here. We got the state of Tennessee is suing BlackRock, the world's largest financial asset manager, for misleading investors about their money being used to fund ESG policies. So BlackRock in the news again. That's in your home territory. You ever heard anything about that?
No, have not. What's the ESG policies?
I don't know. We'll have to look into that. You might keep your ear perked open for that one, because going after BlackRock, that's a pretty big move. See how much they punish you. Let's see here. California wants to remove Trump. Big shocker there. Second Democratic candidate joins RFK Jr., claiming the left is rigging the primaries for Biden. And then Supreme Court filing claims Jack Smith was never properly appointed as special counsel, declaring all of his legal acts null and void. So this is a new Supreme Court filing against Jack Smith. Now, Jack Smith is the guy going after Trump. So that's interesting. And then the last one, we talked about that. Jeffrey Epstein, 150 names to be unsealed. 3 of the names will remain sealed. That's got to be the 2 presidents, right?
Yeah, but who's the third? Who, even if it's not 2 presidents, say it's not, and it's just 3 people. Like who in the Wild West could those 3 people be? I mean, the Saudi prince. I
What
don't
happens?
know.
Well, what happens if it's Trump?
See, I've heard it because a lot of people think it is Trump just because of his. I don't know if they're donor ties or what they are, because Epstein had money, and whatnot. But I don't know, because it's like torn. Like some people wouldn't be surprised if it was Trump. Other people would be like, "Oh no, it's bullshit." Like, they're just trying to drag Trump again through the mud, so he has no complete shot at this next election. So I don't know.
I mean, there
If
is
it
interesting
is,
ties
well, I
to
guess
Epstein and
we'll
Trump.
see what shakes out.
I don't know. This is going to be a fun election year. So I figure we'll do the cussing with Hussing little section off of Phantom Facts. Get our political ideologies out there for everyone to hear, so they feel better about themselves, how they think. Pay attention though, because it's I think it's going to be a pretty rowdy year. And I'll try to find better clips and stuff like that as we go along. But yeah, all right.
Just a new little segment. I mean, we'll get it well oiled.
Yeah, exactly. So
I'm gonna dig in and see though about the Tennessee thing, because that's interesting, because that's like you said, that's a big monster to go after, BlackRock. So
well, and if and follow Tara Bull 808.
Did you repost it on Twitter?
Yeah, I usually repost all of her stuff when it comes to her top 10 news things you didn't hear in the news today. I'll repost it right there, just so that's taken care of. And then follow us on Phantom Fact Society on Twitter, Facebook, TikTok. Largest following is on TikTok. I think we got like 6,500 or something like that followers on TikTok. But give us a follow, and we will be back next week to discuss death by frogs. So
shit.
See, a little bit of a lighter episode. Till next time, Phantoms.
This is the emergency broadcast system. This is not a test. Repeat, this is not a test. This is our final take the following steps. If exposed, remove from the phone.